Hi everyone and welcome to this week's WARNO devblog. This week it's all about the urban combat upgrade / changes, and also there's a shout out to War Yes. I have covered War Yes before on the channel, but it's worth covering it again, and we'll take a little look at the end of the devblog. So they say, hello commanders, we hope you are well. We guess most of you have been enjoying the fruits of our recent labours, the new milestone. 2 new divisions and 1 new operation, a new T-80 tank model, and a host of updates made their way to WARNO. Let's look at some upcoming changes today, specifically related to urban combat, as well as give a big shout out to the great community made resource, the War Yes website. Now we have another subheading, feedback, comments, and upcoming changes. Before we dip in for real, yes people, we want you to hear loud and clear. All feedback, comments, proposed changes, and other suggested improvements are being taken into account by UGen. If we don't react immediately, it doesn't mean things aren't cooking in UGen's kitchen. They say, mind you, please keep the discourse to the developers and other players cool, calm, and collected. They go on to say design choices, be it those affecting weapon stats, units, divisions, or mechanics, etc., all come from a rationale powered by realism, historical accuracy, and most of all, fun. We've been doing this for quite a few years, and we have a clear vision for WARNO. This means authentic immersive World War III battle simulator set during a conventionally fought invasion of West Germany in 1989. Our primary focus is making this base scenario exciting and realistic, including tailor-made decks, unit loadouts, strategic campaigns, and single-player scripted operations. To address some concerns out there, the UGen team is hard at work improving and tweaking the current tank meta, as well as revising urban combat, introducing a new map, more details next week, and other changes. Have a bit of patience, they say. With the game in early access, things are still bound to change regularly until the full launch and likely after. With that out of the way, here is a sneak peek at urban combat. A new way of fighting is the next subheading. Throughout WARNO's early access period, many of you voiced the opinion that combat within the urban terrain could be improved. So we went back to the drawing board and conducted many internal tests to see what we could do. One of the major elements we decided might work would be to revise the urban density of towns and cities, making them more fun to play. So what does this mean? Well, in terms of urban warfare, the current way of doing things, combat in built-up areas, aims to create defensive positions on a map, encouraging very high troop concentration in cities. Infantry leads the way. The upcoming revised approach sees urban districts built around a main street axis instead. Empty spaces between districts will provide clear lines of sight. Districts might be linked by uncovered roads. Moving between urban districts will turn into a high-risk, high-reward maneuver. From density to stealth. Buildings that provide garrison opportunities, houses, or any kind of structure will become more or less dense. Consequently, they fulfill a function as a line of sight breaker, potentially being able to mask your units. This encourages a more dynamic tactical play, using cover and line of sight to fight at your own choosing. This also means tanks play a bigger role, shooting down the streets, but also being dangerously close to satchels, anti-tank rockets, and ATGMs. The next tiny little subheading is spacing. We created a new development tool that provides the optimal distance to separate garrison spaces. This takes into consideration the standard ranges depending on the weapon type. As such, cities and urban terrain are now built up using the following metrics: hand-to-hand range, satchels and explosive charges; close quarters range, SMG range, supply and command traits; remote range, assault rifles, medium machine guns, rocket launchers. Beyond this range threshold, structures might be considered out of range of light weapons, but they still might be in range of sniper rifles and heavy machine guns. Tank range, tank guns and ATGMs, and finally mortar range. This range bracket helps us determine which out-of-town forests and terrain features will be used a lot by mortars, anti-air, ATGM and supplies. Considering all of the above lets us design new, more exciting towns and cities. These changes will create dynamic urban gameplay based on movement, quick decision making, taking risks when needed, or even bluffing. Urban is still the prime fighting space for infantry, but tanks become more appealing, while equipment and weapon loadout will be a decisive factor before a commander takes the plunge and enters the urban combat arena. And that's everything about urban combat that they've given us so far. I guess we'll get more information on the new map next week. Moving on to the War Yes website. So they say now for something a little bit different. We want to shine a spotlight on a most excellent community-made website, the WarYes page. Created by Strike Team member Captain Toucan and community member Izohek, WarYes provides an easy-to-use comprehensive tool for everything related to WARNO, from units to weapons, division breakdown, and an automated patch note generator. If you want to take your WARNO experience to the next level, be sure to check out the WarYes website. Browse the page, compare one unit next to another. It's got things like a unit browser, including stats, even those not visible because of UI limitations. Weapon browser, listing all statistics from turn speeds to how fast specific rounds, missiles, or rockets move once fired. Comparison features from infantry, units to weapons and more. Online deck builder, deck library, automated patch note generator, division analysis. Browse the page, search for units and compare them to others. Check the weapons featured in WARNO to see which units are associated. Discover the deck library with loads and loads of decks from the WARNO community. High-ranking players are marked so you can identify those decks which might make a difference. Of course, it's skills that pay the bills. Filter the decks for the divisions you like to play. It's even possible to import and export decks from the game to WarYes and back again. Really want to win that internet fight? Who, what, which is the best? Well, WarYes has even got a division analysis feature, giving you insight into which divisions are considered being the strongest and weakest in specific categories, inspired by the community, of course. Worried about another UGen sneak deployment of a milestone or patch? Look no further and check out the auto-generated patch notes. WarYes analyzes the game files between versions to display all the changes, even those which are unseen or not mentioned in the patch notes. And that's everything for this week, folks. They say see you on the battlefield. But do check out the WarYes website, it is very good. I'm not sure quite what to make of the sales pitch for the website there, though. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel for more WARNO. Do check out the other videos. I do cover other games, including strategy games, management games sometimes, and even sometimes some FPS games. But unless you've hit the bell after you've subscribed, YouTube just won't tell you they exist. Have a great weekend.